Quick Changers were a line of Cars diecasts released in 2012. Technically, they're not diecasts, they're plastic cars, and their entire gimmick is when you push down on them or you crash them, they would change quickly. Hence the name. Most of the racers had crash damage. They were part of the Quick Changers race line. Then there was also the Quick Changers spy line, which would release different Cars 2 characters with pop-out weapons or pop-out wheels to put them in different action poses and stuff. It's a really cool line, and I never got any of the cars from it back when it was first coming out. Over the years, they've gotten pretty expensive. Not that expensive, but most of them go for around $35, which is, for me, definitely too much to be spending on just one car. Nigel Gearsley has always been one of my favorite Quick Changers. I think he easily has the best looking crash damage. Really, really like how that turned out. And also, for the past few years, I've been trying to get every variant of Nigel Gearsley, as he's one of my favorite World Grand Prix racers. So when I saw a listing for this Nigel for $20 instead of the typical $35, I knew I had to pick it up, and I definitely do not regret it. Anyway, guys, welcome back to yet another review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Nigel Gearsley with crash damage from the Quick Changers race line. Super excited to be opening this up. I'd love to get some more Quick Changers in the future. I really, really have had a fun time with this guy, even just in the box. Just pressing this down is kind of addicting. Please stop me. You can see it says try me. Again, you push down on his window to change him. You can see it says transforms down here, because you could also crash him to transform. We've got some artwork of Nigel Gearsley. This uses the sort of London background that was used on some Cars 2 merchandise in 2012. On the back, you can see transforms. Nigel Gearsley with crash damage has an expression change and a smashed hood. Crash car for instant race damage. Push to reset. Also transforms when you press the roof button. Collect them all. In addition to Nigel, you can see we have Mater with Wasabi Tongue, Finn McMissile with Karate Wheels, and Lightning McQueen with crash damage. The only thing that changes with him is, I think, just his wheels just go like this. There were a few McQueens. There was also one that stuck his tongue out, I think. Probably, I think, the funniest Quick Changer. There's one of Francesco, and when you crash him, his hood, or his whole front, just sort of pivots to the side. It's honestly really funny and honestly kind of unrealistic. I also like Nigel's a lot because he actually crashes in the movie, and while it doesn't look like this, honestly, it's pretty close. So you can see they use the typical two-sided bubble that's used on a lot of Cars items that are a bit larger. Even the color changes use that to this day. And now, here he is, out of the package. There he is. He's pretty light because, of course, he is a plastic item. Here is normal Nigel for comparison. Pretty good, pretty similar in terms of proportions and color and everything. This one seems to be a bit of a darker color scheme, but that's perfectly fine. Here is his with Flames variant for comparison, because I'm sure some people are probably going to compare their facial expressions. This, of course, is Nigel in his non-crashed form, which is honestly kind of hard to tell because the smashed open hood is still very apparent, even when he's in his regular form. Of course, when you push him down, that becomes a lot more apparent. The hood gets sort of pushed up. Oh, look at that. You actually can't reset him by pushing down the hood. That's honestly really good design. Good job, guys. It's pretty easy to press down the button. You just have to press it down, but when you're changing him back, you do have to sort of slide your finger a bit. If you push it down towards the bottom, it's not as easy to change. Again, especially changing him back. So you gotta slide your finger a bit, or just press towards the edge of the button. There we go. Pretty interesting how that system works, and honestly, looking back, why didn't they just do this for the lenticulars? That stops the lenticulars from having everyone's biggest issue with them. They're like 4 eyes at the same time look, right? This would have made it way better. Why didn't they try this back in 2009? You didn't have to add additional things like crash damage, but I'd be all for a line of car stores where you could swap the faces out that are in the 155 scale line. Even if they're plastic, I think that's pretty awesome. But yeah, this is his standard face. Pretty typical Nigel face. Love that he's looking off to the side. Then you push that down, and look at that. Now his hood has popped up a little, and he's got this damaged face. I really like this damaged face. I don't know why there are like motion blur lines where his bottom eyebrow should be, but it shows that he's going super fast, and now he's damaged. He looks injured. Honestly, looks really good. I think I'm going to keep him displayed like this, because he just looks better like this, because again, when he's in his regular form, that cracked open hood, it's pretty easy to see. Of course, you could also transform him by crashing. We'll try that in just a minute. Going across these sides, of course, just have your typical Nigel details. World Grand Prix logos, number 9, World Grand Prix on the back. Again, nothing the regular Nigel doesn't have. Powered by All in All World Grand Prix. You can see these are sticker decals for the most part on him. If this were made nowadays, I assume they would probably be printed instead. Or even these green part stickers. No, these have to be printed on, right? I can't tell if the lighter green swooshes are stickers or not, but a lot of his decals are. Even the UK flag here, the Union Jack on his hood, is, yeah, there's a look at the base. Oh, wow. Huh. Did not expect it to look like that. I guess this is the mechanism that sort of springs up the hood, or maybe, you know, sends the signal right when you crash him. Let's see. Hey, there we go. So then to reset it, you have to... I don't want to damage this. I don't think... Yeah. So you can crash him to mess him up, but you have to push the button to set him back. What part of him triggers that? What do you have to slam into? What is it? Is it the arrow on the hood? I don't know. It seems to be sort of around here. This seems to be sort of the contact area. I know they tried to make... I know they made some quick changers speedways where you would crash them. Yeah, just going head on doesn't change it. You just... Yeah. Maybe it's the speed in which you do it. Let's knock him into another car. Who wants to be my guinea pig? Jodon Jackson. Jodon Jackson sucks. All right. Crash into the worst legend, Nigel. Go. Okay, so I lost Jodon Jackson, but you can see that it does work when he crashes into a car. There are definitely a few different factors that go into what causes this car to change when it's crashed. I slammed it against my hand a couple of times, and it only worked every few times. I think a big part of it is how much surface area it's hitting, and also just the specific angle you go at it at. Just sort of slapping my finger against it doesn't work, but if I slam it against my palm, which I can't really do because I'm doing this one-handed, if I slam it against the ground, you could see as soon as it hits sort of this area of him, sort of the general place of this arrow on his hood, and that's what does it. Speed, definitely also a big part in it. So if you're racing, let's see, if you race this guy and he just happens to hit the wall, there you go. Now you got yourself a damaged Nigel Gearsley. A very, very cool release, honestly. I'm going to stop slamming this into things because I'm too scared that it's going to break. Good on Mattel for making these plastic, though. I could easily see a world where they made these metal, but made the eyes and this part plastic. But no, they were smart enough to make it all plastic instead of just the parts that change. The button would have to be plastic, too. Because, you know, if you were to continually slam this, obviously, then it would chip. But they were smart enough to make the body of the car plastic in addition to these changing pieces. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the quick changers in the comments. Do you own any? If so, I'm immediately envious of you because these guys are pretty cool. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.